My name is Aria Lennox, 28 years old. My phone buzzes against the coffee table, skittering an inch across the wood like it's trying to escape. Evelyn Mercer flashes across the screen in unforgiving white letters. 2 weeks before my wedding, my mother hasn't missed a single day of calling with some emergency that needs my immediate attention. I let it ring 3 times, just long enough to steady my breathing, then swipe to answer. Hi, Mom. Aria. Her voice comes through with that artificial brightness that always comes right before a demand. You need to come over right away. Your sister needs to talk to you about something important for the wedding. My stomach tightens on instinct. Can't she just call me? I have final dress alterations in 2 hours. This isn't something that can be discussed over the phone, she insists, the cheeriness thinning at the edges. Marin has been working on a surprise for you. You'll want to see it in person. I close my eyes, already picturing half a dozen surprises from my sister that ended with me smiling through gritted teeth while everyone praised her generosity. It's always easier to give in than fight. That's been the rule of my life. Troy's voice echoes in my head. You don't have to say yes to everything, Aria. Fine, I say. I'll be there in 30 minutes. The drive to my parents' house takes me through familiar Portland suburbs, sky the color of wet concrete, rain streaking the windshield in uneven silver lines. I rehearse polite responses in my head. That's so thoughtful, Marin. You really didn't have to. No, it's fine. I don't mind. By the time I turn onto their street, my jaw aches from clenching it. My father's car is in the driveway, unusual for a Tuesday morning. The knot in my stomach pulls tighter. Mom opens the door before I even reach it, practically vibrating with excitement. Perfect timing, she exclaims, ushering me inside. Come in, come in. The house smells like chocolate cake, Marin's favorite, not mine. Some things are so consistent they feel like tradition. Where's Marin? I ask, shrugging off my coat. Just wait. Mom lowers her voice, like we're about to reveal a magic trick. Close your eyes. I don't. Instead, I follow her down the hallway and into the living room. And freeze. Marin stands on a small footstool in front of the big framed mirror, spinning slowly. She's wearing a floor-length white gown with delicate beading and a sweetheart neckline. The fabric clings to her torso, then falls in a soft A-line to the floor. It is not a bridesmaid dress. It is not bridal adjacent. It is a wedding dress. My mother beams, hands clasped under her chin, like she might actually levitate from pride. Doesn't your sister look beautiful? She sighs. This is perfect for leading you down the aisle. The room tilts, just slightly, like the floor has shifted half an inch to the left. Leading me down the aisle? I repeat. Marin turns with that familiar, practiced smile, the one that always says she's already won some game I didn't know we were playing. Surprise. I don't understand, I say. My voice sounds far away, even to my own ears. Mom rushes to fill the silence. Well, since your father is walking you down the aisle, we thought having Marin lead the procession in something special would be so meaningful. She's your big sister, after all. In a wedding dress? The words scrape out before I can soften them. Marin's face folds into disappointed hurt, the expression she's been refining since childhood. It's not technically a wedding dress, she says. It's just bridal-inspired. Out of the corner of my eye, I see my father leaning against the far wall, studying his shoes like they hold the secrets of the universe. His shoulders sag. He doesn't look up. I think it's inappropriate, I say, my throat tight. It looks exactly like a wedding dress. Mom's expression hardens, the excitement snapping off like a light switch. Marin deserves a special moment, she says sharply. She's been through so much emotionally. And there it is, the familiar worn-out script. Marin deserves it. Marin needs this. Marin's been through so much. A memory surfaces unbidden. My 10th birthday. I'd asked for strawberry cake, practiced the words out loud, just to make sure I didn't sound ungrateful. Mom had served chocolate instead, Marin's favorite. Just let your sister have this, she'd said, laughing off my confused expression. She's so picky. You'll eat anything. Marin had gotten the first slice, and the biggest. Another memory, bringing home straight A's in high school. Mom pressed a $20 bill into my hand, as if it might burn her fingers if she held it too long. Good job, she'd said distractedly. That same week, Marin's report card came in, C's and D's swimming across the page. Mom clapped, hugged her, and took her on a $150 shopping spree because she's trying so hard, despite her challenges. I look at my sister now, 20 years later, still being rewarded simply for existing, while I keep bending and folding myself into smaller shapes so everyone else can spread out. It's not like anyone will be looking at you anyway with Troy there, Marin says lightly, smoothing the white fabric over her hips. He's so handsome. Everyone will be watching him. The casual cruelty lands like a slap. I look straight at her. I don't want you wearing white to my wedding. My voice doesn't shake. Mom's face flushes. You've always been so selfish, she snaps. Your sister just wants to share your special day. You should be grateful. My eyes go to my father, silently begging for backup. He finally looks up, pinches the bridge of his nose. Aria, he says wearily, it's not worth fighting about. Just let it go. Let it go. Let her have this. You're overreacting. The familiar feeling washes over me, the sensation of being erased by the very people who raised me. I've spent 28 years perfecting the art of disappearing so they can stay comfortable. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I latch onto it like a lifeline. I need to take this, I mumble, already turning toward the front door. Outside, on the porch, I answer. Hey, how's it going with the alterations? Troy's voice is bright, unassuming. He has no idea he's about to be pulled into a storm he didn't create. Something in my breathing must give me away because his tone shifts instantly. What's wrong? I swallow. The words tangle in my throat, sticky with years of minimization. They want Marin to basically wear a wedding dress and lead me down the aisle. Silence. 1 heartbeat. 2. Then, I'm coming to get you, he says, voice low and hard now. This ends now. No questions. No, maybe they didn't mean it. No, family is complicated. Just immediate, unwavering support. It hits me then. No one has ever stood up for me like this without asking me to soften first. I'll be fine, I say, my voice steadier than I feel. I'll meet you at home. Aria? I promise, I cut in gently. I just need to get out of here. When I walk back inside, 3 faces turn toward me. Mom's tight with irritation, Marin's petulant, Dad's resigned. I need to think about this, I say quietly. Mom blinks, thrown off by my lack of immediate surrender. Well, we need to decide soon, she snaps. The dress needs alterations. I'll call you tomorrow. I pick up my bag. As I leave, my mother's voice follows me down the hallway. Don't worry, she tells Marin. She'll give in. She always does. I slide into my car. Tears spill over as I pull away from the curb, the house shrinking in the rearview mirror. Beneath the sting, something unfamiliar roots itself in my chest. This time I think I won't. This time everything changes. When I push open the door to our apartment, I expect empty rooms and quiet furniture. Instead, Troy is pacing the living room like a caged animal, phone in his hand, keys on the coffee table. The sight of him, solid, present, already geared up to fight for me, breaks something loose inside my chest. Tell me everything, he says, crossing the room in 3 long strides. He takes my hands, grounding me. From the beginning. Words tumble out. Today's betrayal, yes, but also older wounds I haven't touched in years. The sapphire necklace my grandmother gave me when I was 12, disappearing from my jewelry box, being blamed for losing it, finding it later in Marin's pocket when I did her laundry. Mom calling me a liar when I tried to explain. Mark, my first boyfriend, banned from seeing me because Marin claimed she saw him with some girl at the mall. The girl turned out to be his cousin from Seattle. Each memory feels like I'm peeling back layers of skin. Troy's face darkens with every story. Eventually, he leans forward, eyes locked on mine. Aria, he says quietly, what they've been doing to you is psychological abuse. The words land between us, heavy and undeniable. I flinch. They're just a normal family with favorites, I protest weakly. Normal families don't sacrifice one child to keep another comfortable, he replies. His voice is gentle, but there's steel underneath. What they're doing with this wedding is just the latest move in a pattern. The truth of it crashes over me like cold water. My chest tightens. I can't tell if I want to sob or scream. I want to cancel the wedding, I choke out. Or elope. Anything but this. Troy cups my face in his hands, thumbs brushing away tears. No, he says. If we run, they win. They've taken 28 years from you. They are not taking this day. A knock rattles the door. I come bearing reinforcements, June announces as Troy swings it open. She steps in with a bag of takeout in one hand and a bottle of red wine in the other. Her smile fades when she sees my face. Oh, honey, what happened? Over pad thai and wine, I tell the story again. This time, I don't minimize the details or laugh them off as just how my family is. June pulls out her phone, scrolling through old messages from Marin. Listen to this, she says. I don't know why you'd want that haircut with your face shape. Don't worry about looking cheap at the rehearsal dinner. No one will notice you anyway. Each line lands like a stone in my stomach. How did I normalize this for so long? I whisper. Because they taught you to, Troy says simply. He calls his brother, Caleb, and puts him on speaker. Caleb listens quietly as Troy lays out the pattern. The wedding dress, the history, the way every protest Aria makes gets flipped into a character flaw. This is manipulative but predictable behavior, Caleb says finally. People who've gotten away with this for decades don't stop because you ask nicely. If you want it to end, you'll need real boundaries and enforcement, not just a conversation. Enforcement, Troy repeats. There's a new look in his eyes now. Calm, tactical. We can do that. We talk for another hour about what that might look like. Contracts, dress codes, security. Not revenge, Caleb keeps emphasizing over the phone, but consequences. By the time the takeout containers are empty and the wine bottle is half gone, the panic in my chest has cooled into something sharper and clearer. I pick up my phone. My mother's name fills the recent calls list. Marin's follows. Dad's text glares up at me. I open my settings and change their contact preferences to send calls straight to voicemail. The small act feels enormous, like stepping over a line I didn't know was there. Troy notices. You okay? He asks from the bedroom doorway later, when I plug my phone in on the far side of the room. I say slowly, surprised to hear the truth in my own voice. I will be. That night, for the first time since our engagement, I fall asleep easily. Not because the storm has passed, but because for once I'm not standing in it alone. 2 days pass in a strange, vibrating fog. My phone will not stop buzzing. It rattles against hard surfaces, nightstand, kitchen counter, coffee table, like a living thing trying to claw its way back into my attention. Notifications cascade nonstop. 14 missed calls from Mom, 8 from Marin, 1 from Dad. Your mother is very upset. Call her. Just seeing his name tightens something in my chest. Dad rarely contacts me unless Mom asks him to. And I know that text wasn't his idea. I ignore all of it and focus on the emails for work, anything to anchor myself. But my hands shake every time the phone buzzes again. Finally, in the bathroom, door locked, I press play on one of Mom's voicemails. Serafina. She always uses my full name when guilt-tripping. Honey, I know you're upset, but you're overreacting. It's just a dress. Call me back. I delete it without thinking. The next voicemail is sharper. This silent treatment is childish. We're trying to make your wedding special. Delete. The third message has lost its sugar entirely. You're ruining your relationship with your sister over nothing. After everything we've done for you, delete. I stare at myself in the mirror. My eyes look darker, older, like I'm finally seeing the world clearly instead of through the fog of obligation. A knock at the bathroom door makes me jump. Aria, Troy's voice, you okay in there? I unlock the door. He takes one look at my face and wordlessly pulls me into his arms. They've been busy, I whisper into his shirt. He takes my phone, scrolls through the messages, and his jaw tightens. Your cousin Diane called last night, he says. I forgot to tell you. What did she say? That your mother is telling the extended family you're having a nervous breakdown. I laugh, a brittle, humorless sound. Of course she is. We're meeting the venue coordinator at 10, Troy reminds me gently. Let's get breakfast first. The wedding venue is even more beautiful in daylight. A converted garden estate with rose-covered trellises, manicured paths, and a view of Mount Hood rising in the distance. It should feel magical. Instead, my nerves buzz like exposed wires. Brenda, the coordinator, meets us in her office, businesslike and composed. In her 50s, with a silver bob and the measured tone of a woman who's seen everything twice. How can I help? She asks. Troy answers before I can gather myself. We anticipate uninvited or non-compliant individuals attempting to enter the ceremony. We want to prevent disruptions. It feels surreal hearing it said out loud. I brace for a raised eyebrow, a skeptical smile, a question designed to make me feel delusional. But Brenda simply nods. You'd be surprised, she says. Family drama at weddings is more common than you think. Tell me exactly what you're concerned about. My throat closes. How do I explain 28 years of being the afterthought? How do I articulate the way my family rewrites reality and expects me to thank them? Troy squeezes my hand. Specifically, he says evenly, we're concerned the bride's sister may attempt to wear a wedding gown. Brenda blinks. Well, she says, that's a new one, but easily addressed. She pulls out the venue contract, flips to a page, and adds a handwritten clause. Any guest besides the bride attempting to enter in bridal attire or wedding dress adjacent clothing will be denied entry. She taps the paper. Initial here. My fingers tremble as I sign. Brenda makes another note. We'll station 2 additional guards at the main entrance, 1 at the side and 1 at the reception hall. All staff will be briefed. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. Her matter-of-fact professionalism makes the situation feel manageable, not catastrophic. Like I'm not a crazy bride. Like I'm just a woman protecting her wedding from her own mother. Will your mother support this decision? Brenda asks casually. I bark out a laugh. She's the one who wanted my sister to wear white. Brenda doesn't look surprised. She only writes faster. When we get home, a large package sits on the doorstep. My wedding dress. June arrives minutes later. Troy definitely texted her, carrying sparkling water and pure excitement. You have to try it on, she insists, dragging me to the bedroom. She helps me step into it, zips the back, and steps away with both hands over her mouth. Oh, Aria, she breathes, eyes misting. You deserve to feel like this. Before I can respond, a sharp knock echoes from the front door. June frowns. Were you expecting anyone? No. She quickly helps me out of the dress, and we hang it carefully. In the living room, Troy stands in a rigid posture I recognize, fight ready. Mom and Marin stand in the doorway, uninvited, unannounced, unapologetic. We're worried about you, Mom says, reaching for concern but landing in condescension. You're not answering our calls. Marin's eyes are red and puffy, her expression a masterclass in weaponized vulnerability. I just wanted to be part of your special day, she whispers. I feel something shift inside me. Not anger, not fear. Resolve. I've made my decision, I say, standing straighter. Marin will not be wearing white to my wedding. Mom's face hardens instantly, the mask dropping. After everything we've done for you, she snaps. This is how you repay us? Troy steps behind me, silent but formidable. Aria, Marin says, voice trembling. If I can't wear what I want, I'm not coming. That's your choice, I say. Mom inhales sharply like I've slapped her. You'll regret this. She storms out, dragging Marin with her. Dad isn't with them, but I know he's involved. He always is when he's silent. The door closes. My whole body trembles, not from fear, but from release. Troy wraps his arms around me as tears spill over. I cling to him like a lifeline. Later, my father calls. His voice is thin, heavy with reluctance. Your mother and sister are devastated, he says. Can't you compromise? My throat closes. Dad, I whisper, I've compromised my entire life, not on my wedding day. A long silence, then, I'll try to talk to them. He won't, I know that now. But the fact that he said it without conviction tells me more than he meant to. After the call, I dial the one person whose support is real. Uncle Mateo? My voice cracks. Dad might not walk me down the aisle. Would you do it? A beat of silence. Then, with warmth that nearly undoes me, it would be my honor, Aria. I've watched what they've done to you your whole life. It's time someone stands beside you. When I hang up, I feel something I haven't felt in years. Hope. That night, unable to sleep, I open my journal and write a single sentence by the glow of my phone. I will choose myself no matter what happens. The words look foreign and powerful, like they belong to the woman I'm becoming, not the girl they taught me to be. And for the first time, I believe them. The morning of my wedding dawns soft and golden, as if the universe is trying, just this once, to give me something gentle. Light spills through the sheer curtains of the bridal suite, turning everything inside a warm pastel glow. If I squint, I can almost pretend it's going to be a peaceful day. June fastens the final pearl button on the back of my dress. Her hands move with a tenderness that nearly breaks me. You look breathtaking, she whispers. The bridesmaids flutter around me, adjusting my veil, brushing stray hairs away, offering nervous smiles. I barely feel any of it. My hands are cold and steady, but my stomach feels like it's bracing for impact. My phone buzzes again on the vanity. A text from Troy. Security confirms all systems go. You just focus on being the bride. Another from Caleb. Guards at all entrances. Nobody gets past us without proper attire. Then a third, from Uncle Mateo. Ready when you are, sweetheart. You look beautiful. I place the phone face down before the next buzz can unravel me. Everything okay? June asks softly. It's just wedding day jitters, I lie. We ride to the venue in comfortable silence. June holds my hand the entire drive, squeezing gently whenever my breathing catches. The garden appears like a painting, rows of white chairs, a rose-covered arch, sunlight sparkling on the dew. It's beautiful. It should feel magical. I should feel magical. Instead, I feel like I'm walking toward a battlefield wearing satin armor. Inside the back hallway, Uncle Mateo waits. His charcoal suit is perfectly pressed, and he wears a white rose on his lapel that matches my bouquet. When he sees me, his eyes immediately well with tears. "You are a vision," he says gently. "Your mother should be saying this, and since she won't..." He spreads his arms. "I will." I force a smile. "Is there any sign of them?" His expression softens. "Not yet." A venue security guard approaches, clipboard in one hand. "Miss Lennox," he says. "Just confirming, all guests were briefed and are being checked at the entrance. Everything is proceeding normally." "Thank you," I reply. June ushers me into a small anteroom where I'll wait until the ceremony begins. The room is too quiet, too still. A mirror stands in the center, reflecting me back with a calm I don't feel. I barely recognize the woman in the mirror. I look like someone who belongs in this moment. I've never felt further from it. A part of me wants to cry, not from sadness, but from the weight of everything that should have been mine. Parents beaming, a sister who loved me, the feeling of belonging somewhere. Instead, I feel alone, except I'm not. My phone rings. "Dad." My lungs seize up. I answer with a trembling hand. "Dad?" "Aria," he says, breathless with urgency. "You need to come to the main entrance right now and handle this." My heartbeat sinks into my stomach. Handle what? "Marin is wearing a white dress," he snaps, "and these men won't let her in. You're making the family look bad." The disbelief is so intense I nearly drop the phone. "Dad," I whisper, "did you know she was planning this?" His silence stretches. 1 second, 2, 3. A lifetime. Then he mutters, defensive, "It's just a dress, Aria. You're blowing this out of proportion." Something inside me fractures completely. "Goodbye, Dad," I say quietly. And I end the call. I stare at my reflection again. My veil trembles with my breath. June rushes in. "What happened?" "I'm ready to walk in," I say, lifting my chin. "Alone." "Are you sure?" "Completely." She nods, eyes shining, and slips out to tell the coordinator. The first notes of canon and D drift through the air. My heart thuds once, loud and heavy. I take a breath, then another. The double doors swing open. 120 guests rise, turning toward me in a rustle of silk and whispers. Sunlight spills across the aisle in warm gold lines. I take my first step, eyes locking onto Troy at the altar. His smile, steady, fierce, loving, stops my knees from buckling. I take another step. And another. A scream rips across the garden. A high, furious shriek that cuts through the music like a knife. "Let me in, I'm her sister." The musicians falter into silence. Every head swivels as the large doors at the back of the garden are flung open. Through the doorway, perfectly framed in full view of all the guests, Marin, in a pristine white wedding gown, more ornate than mine. 2 suited security guards block her path with stony expressions. My mother stands beside her, face twisted in rage, shouting at the top of her lungs. "She told us it was fine. We already told the bride." Her voice echoes over the shocked murmurs of the crowd. In that moment, it's like the universe pressed pause. You could hear a pin drop. The guests look from Marin to me, to my mother, then back to me. The truth lays itself bare for everyone to see. Troy steps forward from the altar, jaw tight, eyes blazing. Caleb follows behind him like a silent wall of muscle. Troy's voice is calm, controlled, carrying across the garden. "Those individuals are trespassing," he announces. "They are violating the explicit dress code and contractual guest agreement." The head security guard nods sharply. They have been informed they will not be permitted entry. Marin's scream turns into a wailing sob. She throws herself against the guards. Mom shouts at the officiant, "Stop the wedding!" Someone in the front row gasps, "Is that her sister? In a bridal gown?" Whispers ripple like waves. This is insane. Poor Aria. Who does that? And then Uncle Mateo steps into the aisle. He walks toward me slowly, methodically, like he's ensuring every guest sees him approach. When he reaches me, he offers his arm. "Let me walk you to your future," he says softly, like the daughter I always wanted. Real tears sting my eyes. I take his arm. Together, we walk down the aisle. Troy steps back into place, eyes on me the whole time. When Mateo places my hand into Troy's, barely anyone is watching the spectacle at the door anymore, because everyone finally sees the truth. The officiant clears his throat, voice trembling slightly. "Shall we continue?" "Yes," I say, my voice is clear. We exchange our vows. Troy's voice is steady. Mine grows stronger with every word. When we kiss, the applause is thunderous, not just celebratory, but supportive. A collective exhale of people witnessing both love and liberation. Hand in hand, we walk back up the aisle as husband and wife. The space where my family should have been is conspicuously empty, but it doesn't feel like loss. It feels like clarity. Troy leans down, whispering against my temple. "It's our day now, just like we planned." For the first time, I believe him. 6 months after our wedding, I sit cross-legged on our living room sofa, a mug of chamomile tea warming my hands. Late afternoon sunlight filters through gauzy curtains, casting soft, wavering patterns across the framed honeymoon photos hanging on the wall. Troy and me, under the Eiffel Tower, laughing on a gondola in Venice, kissing on a cliff overlooking Santorini's impossible blue sea. Sometimes I still catch myself staring at those photos, reminding myself this life is real, that I chose it, that I fought for it. My laptop pings. I close the document I've been working on and lean back. Therapy has become a weekly anchor, a place where I've slowly learned to name things I spent years pretending weren't real. Scapegoating, triangulation, emotional neglect, reactive conditioning. The first time my therapist used the phrase long-term psychological abuse, I cried so hard I couldn't breathe. Now, the words feel less like wounds and more like clarity. My phone buzzes against the coffee table. I glance at it, unbothered in a way I never imagined being. A year ago, every ring meant my stomach dropping to the floor, my heartbeat stuttering. Now it's just a sound. Troy walks in from the kitchen carrying 2 mugs of coffee. He sets one beside me and kisses my forehead. "You're done working?" he asks, settling next to me. "Mostly." I close the laptop. I was finishing the Henderson notes. He hums, slipping his arm around my shoulders. His presence, constant, warm, steady, fills in spaces I didn't know were hollow until I met him. My inbox chimes again. When I open it, my chest tightens, not with fear this time, but with a tired sigh. An email from my father. Jacob Lennox, subject line, checking in. It's short, barely 3 lines. "I hope you're doing well. Your mother still won't discuss what happened. Let me know if you want to talk." I turn the screen toward Troy, from Dad. He scans it quickly. "Do you want to respond?" I sit with the question. Really sit with it. Let the old reflex twitch in my chest. The one that wants to fix everything, to be the good daughter, to smooth things over. But the reflex passes. "Not yet," I say. He still isn't acknowledging anything. That's not a conversation. It's an invitation to pretend. Troy nods. "I'm proud of you." A knock at the door interrupts us. June breezes in, with a dish covered in a checkered cloth and a bottle of wine in her other hand. "I made lasagna," she declares. "The good kind. The you survived emotional warfare and deserve carbs kind." I laugh as she sets everything on the counter. It still surprises me how natural joy feels now, how it doesn't feel like stealing anymore. We eat, we talk, we decompress. The conversation is easy, warm. June scrolls through her phone and suddenly blinks. "Oh, did you see? Marin is engaged." I stop mid-sip. Troy looks at me carefully. My pulse doesn't spike. My stomach doesn't drop. There's just a slow, quiet exhale. "That's her journey now," I say honestly. "I hope it brings her happiness. I just can't be part of it." June nods. "That's healthy." I didn't realize until this moment how much I needed someone to say that. Another knock at the door. Troy goes to answer, then returns with a small package. "A delivery for you." I open it and freeze. Inside is a silver-framed photograph. Uncle Mateo walking me down the aisle, my arm looped through his, both of us smiling through tears. A handwritten note is tucked behind the frame. "The day I gained a daughter. Family is what we choose. Mateo." My throat tightens as I place the frame on the mantel, front and center. I rearrange the other photos to give it space, making room for the family that stayed and protected me. My phone rings again. Dad. This time I answer. "Hello? Aria?" His voice is hesitant, thinner than I remember. Your sister is planning her wedding. Your mother wants to know if you'll attend." I stare at the wall, the mantel, the photo, the life I built. "Has anyone," I ask carefully, "acknowledged what happened at my wedding? Has anyone apologized for the dress, for the scene, for the months of lies?" Silence, longer than before. Then, "It was just a misunderstanding, Aria." My heart doesn't break this time. It settles. "Then my answer is no," I say quietly. "I wish them well, but I won't be part of it." Before he can reply, I end the call. No shaking hands, no tears, just certainty. Troy squeezes my hand. "You okay?" I think," I say slowly, marveling at it. "I don't feel guilty anymore." "That," Troy says, pulling me into his chest, "is progress." Later, our home fills with laughter and warmth as June, Caleb, and Mateo gather around the dining table for dinner. We pass plates, tell stories, clink glasses. It feels like family, not the kind you're assigned, but the kind you build. Mateo raises his glass. To chosen family and hard-won peace. I lift mine in return. And to learning, I say softly, that real revenge isn't shouting or proving someone wrong. It's building a life so full of joy and respect that the ones who hurt you lose all power to shape it. Everyone clinks their glasses against mine. After everyone leaves, Troy and I slow dance in the living room. No music playing, just the quiet hum of our home, the faint clatter of dishes in the sink, the warmth of his hands on my waist. I rest my head on his shoulder. Sometimes I still miss the family I thought I had, I admit. That's because you have a good heart, Troy murmurs. Missing the idea of them doesn't mean you need them. I lift my head and look at him, at the life we've built together. But I wouldn't trade this, I whisper, this real life for anything. He pulls me tighter. And for the first time in my life, the future feels entirely mine.